Hello, Maverick traders. Welcome out to your currency recap for November 4th as we get prepared for the presidential elections here in the U.S. Fed meeting this week. We're going to talk about what's happening. So bear down. Let's get to it. Now, we're always going to talk about meaningful news. We're going to talk about what currencies are moving or where there's a lack of velocity, and then highlight our best ideas. And right now, I have to say, crypto is a much better play than anything in FX pairs. There's just no velocity in FX, but we'll look at some of those charts and make sense of it together.
Disclaimer. This video was created for professional Forex and crypto traders. Maverick Currencies is a proprietary trading firm that employs professional traders around the world. Our traders trade firm capital and keep 70 to 80% of profits they generate. All trades and analysis in this video are for professional traders only. If you are interested in becoming a professional Forex and currency trader for Maverick, click the apply button in the video description. Let's break down what happened today.
All right, so as we look at today's events, not a lot of movement in equities or FX as we break this down, but oil did bounce back, and oil's been on a little bit of an upward trend here the last couple of sessions. Certainly stocks and FX seem to be pausing. Crypto, the trend has reversed, and that everything in crypto, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, they're all trending lower at the moment, and that's really where the momentum is. So as you look at today in currencies, I mean, US dollar down slightly, Swiss franc up slightly. I mean, there's a little bit of movement there, but not much. As we really look at markets, oil up, crypto down, everything else relatively flat. Now, if we break down crypto, Bitcoin Cash was the underperformer, and that's a chart we'll highlight here as possible more momentum to the downside. I think any of those are worthwhile look as a short, as a bearish trend. Now, if we break down markets, you can't grade it as bullish as what it used to be. You know, we were riding this trend higher, but look, everything changed right in here. You broke below the 20, so that's a negative. You're still above the 50, but you can see this little series of lower highs and lower lows, and the momentum is just trending lower. Notice how the moving averages are now sloping sideways. There's not that upward slope. This kind of tells you there's a little bit of a pause here, and it's a perfect pause right at the level going into the U.S. presidential elections. This was some resistance back here in the past. It's a breakout zone. It retested as support, and now we've come to this level, that kind of make or break zone, as we get additional information. So really interesting level for the markets to be at going into U.S. presidential election results. And that's the big story. I mean, this is it. Who's going to win? What does that mean for currencies? What does that mean for crypto? What does that mean for equities? All of these questions. And this is what I would call a known unknown, in that we know some aspects of it. You know, the presidential results, it's scheduled, right? It's on a date and time and so forth. What you don't have is a knowledge of who won for sure, and you know what policies are going to be in place and so on. So there's a real unknown aspect to this, but the very fact that we know the date and time and the expectation means that the markets are pricing in some of this ahead of time. They're saying, okay, well, what if we don't have a victor on Wednesday? What if it drags on a few days? What if it goes to the courts? What if this? What if that? So some of that's already getting built in. That nervousness, that anxiety can be priced in. Now on Thursday, the Fed is expected to cut interest rates by 25 basis points. I think they're certainly not going to cut by 50. 25 is likely. Maybe even no cut is not out of the question, but we shall see. Now, as we look at currencies and FX and such, pretty much everything down the middle. I mean, I really could have stacked all of FX. I gave Kiwi a slight downgrade to everything else. I gave Swiss franc a very slight upgrade to everything else, but the reality is most were just right here at the zero. As you look at their velocity, you saw charts that were like this, so price action sideways, moving averages sideways. You see RSIs and, parabolic SARs and all of that giving no clear indication. So most of these just really grayed out at a zero. But notice if we come over here to crypto, Bitcoin is the least bad, but still bad, right? Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Ethereum much better on the bearish side. So let's look at this together. If we look at Bitcoin Cash, what's negative about it? Well, first of all, just the velocity. We're breaking lower. We're on a sell signal on the parabolic SAR. We've got a sharply downward sloping moving average. We've got downward sloping RSIs making new lower lows. We've broken levels of support back here. I mean, this is just a classic downward phase. And rather than kind of guess at where this might stabilize and such, just go with the flow. Now, if we do a contrast and comparison, look at FX. Now here I just picked the British pound, but really we could have put the euro in here. We could have put whatever, Aussies and so on. And you're going to see the same dynamic, which is they're just neutral. I mean, look at the moving average sloping sideways. Look at the RSI sideways and right around that 50 level. Um, you know, you can almost ignore the parabolic SAR because it's like, are we making higher highs and higher lows? No. Are we making lower highs and lower lows? No. This is actually what they call a volatility compression within the chart, in that we're getting a series of higher lows and lower highs and just getting squished tighter and tighter within this range. So this is how a lot of FX charts look. You do not want to go out and aggressively play the British pound when it's inside of this chart, because it's just going to chew you up and spit you out. Now, on the flip side of that, of course, we will get some breakout or some breakdown probably this week, right? There will be a change in velocity at some point in time, but when that will be, we cannot guarantee. And right now, it's anybody's guess as to where some of those charts are going to go. So there's just not a lot to trade in currencies, but crypto, you can keep pushing the gas a little bit on those to the downside. Here in the US, we're awaiting presidential election results, Fed meeting. Plenty on the docket to create some volatility this week, so be aware of that. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you next time.